No, I'm just kidding. Let's go to episode 54.
Jesus, what a way to start, man.
I have Giancarlo on next episode.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I have some really lame, but like it is like you might notice it, some news. I moved
Hit me with it.
I moved the futon because it turns out the gap between my desk and the futon was so small I couldn't move my chair through. So I got frustrated and finally moved it, and it's back in its original spot. So that's what I did this weekend. that's all I've
Nice.
done. What about you?
Well, the first thing I'll say is I had been putting clips from the podcast on like TikTok and Instagram and stuff, and honestly, I felt like they just weren't driving traffic. So I'm trying like putting straight up clips on YouTube. So like I put like a 12-minute clip up last week, and it did about as well as the podcast does. So I think that was a good thing to do, and I'll try that again. I think I mean, it was about Pollo Loco, the clip I used. So if I put up a clip that's more like relevant to like actual like topics, like one of the like the Tesla robot stuff we're about to talk about, like I think that'll actually do better. But anyways, my manager and cinematographer got back to me about my screenplay. They liked it a lot.
Ooh.
Yeah. My cinematographer said he was eager to meet me on Friday to discuss next steps. So I don't know how much more stuff I can really talk about, because we kind of have to keep things under wraps, because business stuff gets involved and like people's money and stuff. But right now, the big question is, will I be doing an Indiegogo in January? I think that's really what we're up in the air about. I think with the people that I have in mind that I want to get attached to the film, we should be able to get the $300,000 budget that I need to make the film at the quality that I want. With the talent I want to get attached, could even get more. You never know. So, but the big thing is, if I need to, I may do an Indiegogo in January, like literally like January 1st to like my birthday, or something like that, to raise 10% of the budget, because like going to producers with 10% already like shows that you have skin in the game. So, but the next topic, or at least next thing in my weekly update is that Pollo Loco is about to hit 25k views.
Yeah, probably tonight, right?
Yeah, probably tonight, and we're like on we're almost to 8. We're almost to 8 days. We're like technically on day 7, I think.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But anyways, that's freaking awesome. Thank you guys for supporting the film. If we get the film to 50k in the first month, that's already huge. You know what I mean? Like if you think about it, like if you count every one of those people as like $5, whether they like rent it, buy it, go see it at a limited release or something, like that's basically our budget back in like the first month, which for a first film is huge. So keep supporting it, guys. Let's try to get it to at least 50k by the end of the month. I think we can get past that if I push it hard enough. If we can get the film to 100k just in general, I will definitely hush up about it and not like be so, I don't want to say annoying, but I won't like push it so hard where it's like, come on, man, like
I saw
a video a day.
You did a crumble cookie thing where you open the box and it's just Pollo Loco. I was like, bro.
Yeah. Do you like that? Well, at the end I was like, well, if we hit 25k, we'll get crumble cookies, because this week's menu sucks ass, man. This week's menu is awful. So I'm like, I'd rather do it next week if we're gonna do it at all. But the other thing is, I was gonna say I'm finally over my cold, but I still have my cough. I still have this weird like sore throat. Bobby went to the doctor like a week ago for hers, and they told her like it's just a really bad like long cold that people are getting, and there's really nothing we can do. We can give you antibiotics, which will help you like get through it faster, but there's really nothing else you can do besides just take cold medicine and stuff. So that has been awful. Like right now, it's on my left side. I'll like it like reflashes, man. Like I'll be like, oh yeah, I think tomorrow it's gonna be gone, and then I'll wake up and my throat's sore, like a little sore again or scratchy, or I'm hawking up stuff. It's like nasty yellow mucus all day. It's sorry, I don't want to go into too much detail about that, but it's the nastiest cold that I've had that I can remember, dude. Like I think it is worse than the one I had in boot camp that they call the Cape May crud because you're just hawking crud up. It's worse than that. And like I said, I looked online to see what people are saying because usually when there's a really bad cold season, people are like, "Yo, this cold season's bad." A lot of people think it's some kind of weird cold, like C19 hybrid thing, man. Because it's like almost respiratory.
Well, because so I guess we're getting a new topic here then, because so there's actually something interesting about that. So, I remember there was like the variants that you would see like a year or two after all the stuff in 2019 happened, and so the big thing with viruses is that over time I think they become less deadly because the less deadly they are, the more they can spread. Right? That's kind of like one of the big things. If you've ever played like a Pandemic or Plague Inc. or whatever, you start out in the opposite way where you start out really weak,
Yeah.
and then you go to being deadly, right? Well, that's not how it actually works. It starts out maybe kind of deadly, and then people are like, "Holy crap, this is happening!" And then it gets better, where it's not killing people;
Yeah.
it's just trying to spread. So that might be
Obviously, we're not scientists, but from my understanding, like as people get it and beat it, it mutates to be like still contagious. Like people can get it again, but because the way that it mutates, it like you said, it becomes like less lethal.
Yeah.
But the scary thing is like years down the road, there can be a mutation that flips it back again, you know?
Yeah.
But because I mean they talk about like new C19 and stuff. I guess they just call it new C, you know, without saying the word. But I don't know, man. There's so many variants now, they literally can't even keep track. So I would not be surprised if it's something like that. I mean, because I mean, Bobby had it where like when she would talk and like cough, you could hear it like it was gross, man. And I was like, dude, I'm just happy that the baby like I think there's something to do with like the enzymes in breast milk that like it helps the baby get through it so much faster, but almost at like the detriment to the mother because it like takes from her immune system and her antibodies and like but it's good because it protects the baby. But I mean she got through it way faster than I have, man. It's kicking my ass. I mean I also haven't been sleeping a lot because promoting Pollo Loco on top of everything else, just you know, I feel like I have no free time. I also got auditions to do, so that like I have to like I like to go for walks because there's something about walking. It's almost like chewing gum, where like if you're doing like a motor function of some sort while you're like studying or memorizing something, it's like the other side of your brain just picks it up easier for some reason. So I go for walks and memorize my lines, and that works really well for me. So, but that means I'm like walking at like 3 a.m.
Well, see, like I always do that thing of just like pacing back and forth. Mom used to get mad at me for that. She's like, "Stop it! You're making me stressed out." And it's just whenever I'm like really just like trying to figure something out or think of something, or if I'm just trying to like process some kind of information, I will pace, and that helps a lot, especially because it's like since you're going in a circle when you do that, it's kind of like the repetition kind of makes it a little bit more like, okay, let me focus on what's in my head as opposed to like where I'm going, right? Because if I was to go outside, if I would have to be worried about, oh man, I gotta make sure I don't get hit by a car out here, I gotta make sure I don't get robbed. Like that's how I am about that. But yeah, I don't know why walking helps so much. That's so weird.
I don't know. I mean, memorizing. I've noticed that like the better the dialogue is and the screenplay that I'm memorizing lines for, the easier it is to memorize. If it's really shitty, like really badly written, it's hard because it's like it's almost like trying to memorize the wrong answer because you're like, this is not how people talk. I would not talk like this, which that right away is like a thing as an actor where I'm like, it was ingrained into me pretty early on. Like, you never say like, oh, I would never do that, or like my character would never do that. Like, tough shit. Like, you're playing that character in those circumstances. There's there's an actor who right after I met him, he passed away. He was pretty old. Basil Hoffman. Um, he was the first one that like, it's such a like not eerie, but like it's one of those stories where like I don't know. There's just something about it. It meant something. So my first acting class, we had to choose a scene, right? And I chose the breakup scene from Whiplash. And so it's literally like a monologue of like me just like telling this girl like why I think we should break up. Like basically like, hey, I'm trying to be like the best at this. I'm trying to be one of the greats. So like you're just getting in the way, you know? And so like this is how it's gonna go. So we might as well just break it off now. And so I'm basically just talking to this person while they sit there and go, "You're a lunatic." And so he was like, "All right, go for it." And like I'm sitting across this guy who's been acting for like 50 years, man. You know? And I was like the last one to go. And so like these other like 6 or 7 people, I watched him like just right away give feedback or like stop them in the middle of their scene. I got through the whole scene without him stopping me. And this is my first acting class. I'm not trying to brag or anything. It was like such a weird moment in my life. Like this little thing that I'll never forget. So I get through the whole scene and he stops and he stares at me for like 10 seconds. Like trying to think like how he wants to like go about it. And then he goes, "It was very believable. If you're not getting work in this town, you will. You will." And he's like, I want you to do that again, but I want you to, you know, do it this way or whatever, you know, like really like give it to me like this. And I'm like, okay. And so we do it a couple more times. And then, I mean, just very small feedback. Like, I think he knew like, okay, this guy's a new actor, but he's definitely taking it seriously. It was like one of those things, you know? And so that was like one of those moments very early on when I was first starting where he was like, it was like somebody whose opinion really mattered telling me, keep doing this. Like, don't stop. You know? And like, and then he passed away 2 weeks later. He got C-19 and passed.
Jesus
and I'm just like,
Christ.
Isn't that a crazy freaking thing to have happen? Like, this guy just like tells me like, do it, you know, and then just gone. And I was just like, man, like I think that happened for a reason, you know? And I'll never forget that. Basil Hoffman, rest in peace, man. That was a legend. I don't know why why
we were talking about like how when you walk around and you're kind of like processing stuff. Yeah.
So what, like I said, one thing that I noticed is like I've never really had a hard time memorizing lines, which I'm very thankful for because I know a lot of actors struggle with that. Like they have a hard time being word for word.
Yeah.
And like I'm usually able to be very word for word unless it's just written bad. Like there's a random thing thrown in there or the grammar's wrong, but it's not like that's the way the character talks. It's almost like they just forgot to fix a typo.
Yeah.
You know? So it's one of those things. But anyways, we can move on to our main topic. I did not even know this was gonna happen, but Elon Musk freaking did some big event, and like I really didn't look into it too much. Like I just saw a lot of videos, and so you can fill in the gaps for me. But he revealed like 3 things. He revealed the robo-taxi, which I know the least about. I just saw that it was like gold. It had like 2 doors. Then they revealed the robo van, which looked like something straight out of like Blade Runner.
Yep.
Which was like this freaking van that can fit like 20 people, and it looked freaking badass. Which both of these are self-driving, by the way. Like they're meant to be like self-driving. And then he revealed the Tesla Optimus robots or whatever they're called. And that shit is like straight nightmare fuel, but so cool at the same time.
I will go into it. So First off, the robots, they've been kind of teased a little bit for a while. I think for a few years. Originally, they had some dude in a costume that looked like those robots. Like he came out on stage and he was all like doing like a bunch of stuff, right? And everyone was like, okay,
Doing it
so
right.
they're yeah, so
fuck.
he's just basically the announcement, right? Like that's Elon Musk's way of saying, hey, we're gonna start making robots, right? But I think about a year later, they actually showed him off, and then I think Elon Musk talked to Joe Rogan about it, and it was like, oh yeah, so we're making robots, and Joe Rogan's like, okay, how do you make sure they're not gonna kill anybody? And he's like, well, they can't like lift above a certain capacity, which means they also can't like hurt people. They can't like pick somebody up and throw them across the room. They can't bash someone's skull in or whatever, right? And I do want to say, I'm speaking from memory on the Joe Rogan part. I don't know if it was on Joe Rogan. I know there was somewhere where he was talking about it, but I feel like it was probably Joe Rogan because that's when they shot the Cybertruck with the bow or whatever, I think. But anyways, so that happened, and that kind of like restored my faith in it a little bit. And so now they're actually showing them off being used, and I'll be honest, not impressed. I am not impressed by these robots because first off, the voices is just somebody talking, like someone's actually like remoting in and being like, oh, I'm gonna respond to the person, right? There were some times where it kind of didn't seem like that.
How do you know that? Because I saw multiple of them, and they had the same voice.
I heard them with different voices.
I heard several of them like at the same time. You can literally see one in the background, and like these, and I see a video from that setup, and then this one's like bartending, all this stuff, and like a lot of them had the same exact voice. And I'm like, okay, unless they're using like some kind of voice filter thing, you know. But at the same time, they're run by Chat GPT-4, right? That's what I saw. And I saw a video where it's like freaking, it's got the freaking draft beer and it's putting it in the glass, and they're like taking selfies with it, and you can see how it like it stops, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's like, you know how Chat GPT, it's like you type in a thing and it still takes like 10-15 seconds for it to process. They take their selfies, and then 10 to 15 seconds later, it looks at them and like puts up a piece and is like, do you guys want to take selfies? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, you could see it processing. And
I see, because the thing is that I saw it playing like rock, paper, scissors, and to me, it looked like somebody was controlling it and couldn't get the controls down right. So they're like,
I think it's just literally those robots are just not super fluid yet. I really do think that we're at that moment where we're seeing technology that is, I mean, it's literally almost like AI stuff where like it's almost there, but you can pick up on these little things that are weird and not fully fleshed out yet. I mean, I saw them talking to one of them. It had that same voice that the bartender had. You can see that bartender one in the background. So I'm like, it's really weird to me that if there's somebody with a mic, they sound exactly the same, or they're using some kind of voice filter for them, or
I
haven't seen any proof.
I'm gonna be a nerd.
Somebody with a mic.
And I'm gonna say, oh, I found a source. And so this is an article from Newsweek, and they're talking about, okay, can it actually talk? And it says, I don't know who this quote's from. It says, I feel like these may be operated via telepresence, or at least the voice is definitely being piped through a human on the other end while the robot does the actions. I've seen 2 different videos now, and it appears the robot voices are different. It says, found the answer at 113 timestamp on the video. Engineer says they are assisted, which seems like another way to say teleoperated without saying teleoperated. So I see the future there. Like, I see it potentially getting to a point where it is completely autonomous. But as of right now, I just think it's more of like a, hey, look, we have all like the foundation there. We have a way to move the arms, move the fingers and all that. We have speakers in there so that it can talk. but it just can't do that on its own yet. Does that
So
make sense?
this is what I'm seeing on Reddit. This person says that it's been discussed, and okay, some of them were being what do they call it? Man, I don't see the rest of the like. Anyways, he's saying the ones that were in the open crowd speaking to groups were definitely being like talked. Somebody was talking through a mic, but he says the ones pouring drinks and handing out gifts were not, and the ones that were dancing in the
Oh,
gazebo. So it was like a mix.
that's
So
a
the
lot
one that was
cooler.
pouring, see what I'm talking about though. Look at the video of the one pouring drinks, and that shit is definitely just Chat GPT. It's wild, man, because you can see it stop and process, but it takes long enough to process where like it misses the actual moment where they're taking the selfies, but then it's like, oh, you guys want selfies, you know what I mean? Like, it's so
Yeah.
weird, but it sounds so human, and like, I mean, watching it pour the drink,
Oh,
it like made sure that it didn't pour too much
dude, I
and things
bet
like that.
it's not even using GPT. It's probably using Elon Musk's freaking Grok thing that he has on Twitter. Because he has his own Chat GPT on Twitter. Grok, I think. That's probably what it is.
I don't know. I just know
Um,
it's supposed to be like a one of the latest versions. But anyways, I my thing is like I know Elon Musk is like, oh, we got all these safety measures and stuff like that. But there's evil people out there. It's only a matter of
you
time.
hand that thing an AK.
It's
And
only
just...
it's only a matter of time before they're using them as soldiers or strapping bombs to them. And you know what I mean? Like it's just it's scary, man. It's
Yeah.
very scary. It's like, and I mean they look really cool though. Like the head literally looks like Daft Punk. um so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's very interesting, and I like I said, I didn't look into enough of this stuff to really know what's going on, but I mean, I heard they're not supposed to be available until 2025, which probably will get pushed.
Yes.
And he says they're going to be 20 to 30 grand. I guarantee you they're going to be like 50 to
Which
60.
I will
Like,
say, if they are
he never
20,
hits his price target.
if they are 20 to 30 grand, that's tempting.
Well, yeah, Robot Butler. I don't know.
Yeah.
The thing that I found interesting, and he was like he was like they'll be able to do very simple things that will improve your life, like babysit your kids. Like you can like be in another room and it'll
Oh,
be like, hey,
I'm making the thing
and
do
I'm like,
laundry,
dude,
bro. 100%.
that yeah, they said like menial tasks, like doing the dishes and things like that. Like hell yeah,
Dude, but you know what's crazy? So you could have
walk the dog.
you have this robot,
So badass.
this human looking robot, and then you have your little Roomba. It's like now you have like a whole little robot family living with you. You got the dog, you got the owner. Like it's kind of cool.
Robot bumps into it and just
Oh man, but
reported case of a robot being hostile towards another robot.
I will say so. There's also the robo taxi, the robo van. I do want to talk about those a little bit. So,
Yeah, I don't know much about them.
I don't know a whole lot as far as like how they work and how well they work. Obviously they're going to be like the self-driving stuff that they've got with I say what autopilot or whatever it's called. But the design, like the way that it looks, the aesthetics of it, it's like, oh, I get where Elon was going with the Cybertruck. It's just the Cybertruck was not a great first attempt. I think the Robo Taxi, the Robo Van look insane. They look so cool.
I mean, the Robo Taxi is whatever. Like, it looks like a Roadster, but smaller, and it's gold. Like,
It's not
it'll
gold.
definitely be.
It's
The
not
ones I saw were gold.
It's so I've seen it in that stainless steel. Because I do see a gold one, but like I see
The
one
gold
where
one looks dope.
it literally looks. It looks like a Cybertruck, but like in the shape of a Roadster, basically, or even like a Model S.
Yeah, it's like a Model S. It's
So
like the tail end looks like a
like a Cybertruck, yeah. So
I really like the straight
yeah,
line tail.
I love how that one looks. The Robo Van, it really does.
yeah.
It's because the thing is, it's like Art Deco is what he was saying, and I was like,
Looks
yeah,
straight out of like BioShock or something.
yes, and I think it looks awesome.
I
Like
do
that is
too.
one of the coolest looking concepts for, and Dude, I saw the random thing. I saw like is it Hyundai? How do you say it? Like what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think.
Hyundai. So I saw a car at the parking lot at work from them, and I was like, I've never seen that shape of car before. But something about it, like I just really liked how it looked, and it seems like cars are starting to go more towards that futuristic
What?
look. It makes me
Look
really
at the
happy.
Mustang. It's like a retro futuristic kind of vibe to it. Like the tail end specifically, it looks crazy similar to the old like 60s Mustang taillights where it's like indented, but it's at like this crazy like angle where it looks futuristic at the same time. I
What
love it.
the 2024 Mustang?
Yeah, look at the taillights.
I've not seen. All I'm seeing is that crap with the arrows that they've always had. You have to find a specific picture for me. But either way, I love how cars are starting to look, man. Um, and especially because I started playing Cyberpunk again recently, and
Mhm.
I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah, I'm sending it to you.
well, I can't even see it, bro.
It's fine.
Or sending it to me
I mean,
on whatever. Anyways,
just literally look up 2024 Mustang taillights, and you'll see
that's
it.
what I looked
Like,
up, and it doesn't look that cool.
I'm not saying, oh, it looks cool. I think it looks cool, but I'm saying the design is like a retro futuristic. That's literally what they're going
Well,
for.
Anyways, we're getting stuck on this freaking taillights. I think nobody cares about. Anyways, I don't know. I really hope that he keeps that style going though, and it would be really nice if he was to take the Model S and the Model Y and the Model X, and or is it Model X? Is that what it's called? The Model X.
I
Right?
don't know. I don't get talking
And-
shit about my Mustang. Fuck
and
you and your
and,
topic.
and the Model 3. I hope that they take those designs and they sort of put them in that same style of the new designs because that would be really cool. What?
That was rude.
What do you mean that was rude?
You said I don't care. You just dismissed it. That's rude.
I didn't
would
say
never
I
say
don't
that to
care.
you.
I said I didn't say I don't care. I said I think people don't care about taillights, bro.
I mean, we were literally talking about the taillights of the Tesla.
No, that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about the shape of the car, bro. You're talking about the line on the back of the robo taxi.
The taillight.
Yeah.
It's literally a taillight, and then I said I like how the taillights of my car are this retro futuristic like design. Like it looks retro while also having like this futuristic look to it where it's like indented and like whatever, man.
Don't
I
get
don't think
mad.
it's funny, man.
Don't get mad. What are you?
I'm not mad. I think it's disrespectful. We're like having a conversation. Like if I was talking to anybody to talk like that, I'd fucking walk away. Just saying. That's rude. Let us know in the comments. I think that was rude. You piece of shit.
What? I was. Oh my god, bro. Don't make it weird.
I'm not making it weird. You are. I'm just telling you how I feel.
I don't even know what to say to
What?
that, man.
I know. It's just dumb, doesn't it? Damn. Anyways, I don't know like what I saw that the Robovan can it's supposed to be able to hold like 20 people. But are they supposed to be like you can drive them and they're self-automated or just self-automated like there's not a seat there?
Pretty sure it's just self-automated, which I don't.
What does the interior look like?
I saw the Robovan and it's just seats. There's no steering wheel.
Dude, it's fucking spacious in there though. That shit looks it literally looks like I mean, it looks like they were kind of going for like almost like a limo vibe, but at the same time looks like a subway.
Yeah, that Robo Taxi has no steering wheel. It just has the
I like the lighting and
Tablet.
stuff. That looks really dope. That looks straight out of Blade Runner.
Yeah, I'm just concerned that that's like heavily edited.
I mean, I see somebody sitting in this one.
I see somebody coming out of it with a wheelchair. I don't see anybody sitting.
Elon Musk sitting in it. There's the people getting out of it. It looks like you can change the lighting color.
Oh, it's got RGB lights.
Yeah, I like the orange and blue though. That looks straight out of Blade Runner. Bro, it's so funny though, cause like I see the like the rendered concept photos next to it, and they look awful. They look nothing like what this thing actually looks like. I'm glad they went with this design because it looks so much better than
What do
most
you
stuff.
like better, the gold or the white? Because I'm seeing like a white on some of these.
I mean, the gold looks really cool, but it's I mean, it's not necessary, you know.
Hmm.
Either
way, I don't really care about those two just because it's like I'm not
I mean,
gonna use them.
I think the robo taxi that has the potential, like, if people could just be like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy a robo taxi," and I mean, isn't that what he literally talked about? He's like, it's gonna like replace Uber drivers, but the idea is that you can buy one and it just goes makes money for you.
So yeah, I heard that
Passive income.
there's one issue with doing that though. Now,
People
if
piss and shit in them.
well, aside from that, now if somebody gets hurt, like if they get into an accident while they're in your robotaxi, you are liable because
I
it's
mean, I think
your
that's
car.
the way it should be. It's your property.
Yeah, so I wouldn't do
So,
that. I feel like it wouldn't pay itself off before something like that happens.
I mean, it depends on how good it gets before it's a thing, you know? I mean, there's always going to be outliers, but
Did they even
I
give
don't know.
release dates on this stuff, man?
No, the only release date I saw was that the robot's supposed to be available in 2025, which I guarantee it's going to get pushed.
Yeah.
No,
well,
no offense to Elon. I mean, no offense to Elon. He's got some really cool ideas, but he almost never hits his target date or price.
This is
So,
Robotaxi will probably be 2026.
what about the van?
Uh, 2027 at the earliest.
At the earliest. Okay, so Optimus robot.
But so here's the other thing. So
Okay, Optimus robots are said to go on sale sometime in 2026. They re-clarified.
so even 2026 I would take with a grain of salt. Obviously, like, he doesn't have a great history of sticking to deadlines, but in all fairness, with the Cybertruck, a lot of the delay was caused by the shutdowns and all that. Like when
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, but I mean, my biggest concern is that I see all these cases and videos and documented things on the internet where people receive their Teslas and stuff, and the quality control on them is horrendous. They got body panels popping out,
yeah.
like all kinds of stuff, and it's just like, for the amount of money people are paying for a brand new Tesla, the quality is ass.
Yeah, ever since that Whistle and Diesel video came out, because he hasn't released another one since regarding
Like,
that. Cybertruck.
buying a Tesla brand new is a terrible financial decision. Terrible. They lose like 50% of their value in like the first year.
Buying them used is also kind of sketchy, isn't it?
I mean, I guess the thing with buying a used one is like the warranties and all kinds of stuff like that is questionable, but
Well, yeah, I also heard something with like they don't want you to buy them used; they want you to buy them new. So like the software gets kind of jacked up and stuff. I don't know. I've heard weird things about buying things used from Tesla.
I heard that if you like get one and like the package you got comes with like add-ons that are free for you, like they won't transfer to another person. They have to pay for them. And so it's like that's where it gets kind of shitty. Like if somebody's like, "Oh yeah, mine comes with the autopilot," but then like you get it and like it's like, "Oh, the price of the autopilot's more expensive than when they bought it." And it's like, "Well, I can't afford that." Well, you got autopilot capability, but you can't use it cuz you're not paying for it. Like that's shitty.
Yeah, although I did see a dude found out how to like bypass a lot of the locks that they put in for that, and so like he was able to enable certain features that he wasn't supposed to have. And then while it did work for a bit, Tesla did actually end up shutting down his car.
Yeah,
which
like,
is terrifying.
That's only going to get him in trouble, like legally. And then not only that, that just helps Tesla go, "Oh, okay, well, let me see how they got around that. We'll make sure you can't do that again." You know? So it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm ready to move on if you are.
Yeah.
All right, so quick ad break. Support us on Patreon. We just had a new patron join. His name is George Falafel. He joined at a tier 2, so he played Fortnite with us this morning. Fortnitemares update is great. So that was really fun. They added like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre stuff and Saw stuff to it, and witches' brooms are back and stuff. The chainsaw, if you like hit the sprint button and then hit the chainsaw, it like goes into the ground and like makes you go super fast. So ridiculous, but it's so
I
fun.
saw some clips of it. It looked like it was actually really fun.
It is. It's helping tide me over until Black Ops 6, which we're going to talk about here in a bit. Oh, and we need to give away our Blu-ray for the week. So this week it is My Bloody Valentine, which, fun fact, this is apparently Quentin Tarantino's favorite slasher movie, which I did not know until I was researching this. But this is a sealed Blu-ray copy, and it goes to... Where's the name? Oh, Nope. Nope. Congratulations. I already have your address. So I'll reach out just to congratulate you so you know it's coming. But we'll get this sent out on Monday.
Oh, why'd you say it like that? I already have your address.
Because he's one step before. I have your address, bud. I got you. I found you. I know where you live. Next week, I'm giving away a copy of Megan. So look forward to that.
Megan. Like right up to the camera. Megan.
Congratulations, Nope. But yeah, support us through Patreon. Also, you can use code DannyD for 10% off Fit Butters. I officially have all the flavors that are out right now. There's just 2 not unboxed yet. So I think I have like 23 flavors or 24 or something. There's so many. I mean, you can literally see it. A third of those aren't even open yet. They're so good though. Definitely recommend. I think banana maple French toast is sold out right now. So I definitely recommend Brookie. I like chocolate chip cookie dough. If you like chocolate chip cookie dough, I think you're going to really like that. The Fruity Pebbles flavors are great as well. And then code DannyD for 20 to 30% off at gfuel.com. The Scream flavor is out, baby. It's back in stock. They have a hydration version. It's cherry green apple. It's really good. They just brought back Nemesis tea. The tubs are back, baby. I got one on the way, baby. Because freaking TSA dumped it out in front of me, man. So that's on the way. Use code DannyD. Yeah, dude. It's back.
Are they gonna
Lemonade, iced tea.
Are they gonna have cans?
I don't know. Like I said, I heard through the grapevine that they're completely revamping their cans. So I think whatever cans are out right now is all they have. And then when they run out, like hopefully by the time they run out, they'll have, a new redesign or something.
Scheiße.
Yeah, the Nemesis tea cans are so good.
Oh man.
But all around that flavor is great. So yeah, support the content and everything we do here with that. And in the comments, tell Chris he's a disrespectful turd.
All right, man. Just because I had an opinion, bro.
No, it was just the way you went about it that was rude, man. Like, I wouldn't talk to you that way.
You have, though. You literally have, though, bro.
Water under the bridge, all right?
Oh, shut up, bro. Be quiet.
I haven't done it since.
Okay, but I'm not allowed to do it?
No.
No.
I'll put my foot down.
No. No. No.
Yeah, thanks for joining, George. I think he also gave us he already gave us a question. So moving on to the Patreon questions for the week. Tommy Slay says, if you could own a restaurant, what would be the first dish on your menu? I don't know what I would call it, but it would be the biggest like mountain of nachos. With like every kind of meat on it. We got like pulled pork, brisket, ground beef, steak, chicken. They just call it the meat mountain of nachos. That would be my first thing. It'd be like $50, but it'd be worth it, man. It'd feed your whole family.
I think I'd be like the Taco Bell of pizza.
Like Pizza Hut?
No,
Literally, it's the Taco Bell pizza.
no. It's like, because Taco Bell has like the same 5 ingredients, just in different like forms, right?
Yeah, Pizza Hut.
Brother, all they have there is pizza and breadsticks, and like they had a calzone once, and then they got rid of it. Now they have like the melts, right? I'm talking like
It's all the same
the
shit, just rearranged.
little tortilla pizza things.
Nobody wants that.
The pizza.
I'm kidding.
See, okay, see.
I would eat it.
So and then
I
you
was
have
kidding though. That's
you
the
have like
difference.
pizza. Shut up. You got pizzadillas. Like I would do that. Yeah. But I would totally just like, I know it's not just one dish, but that's the thing. Everything is pizza, so that everything is the same dish, just in different configurations. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting hungry.
I feel like Little Caesars already fills that gap for me, man. It's been a while since I had Little Caesars.
I had it recently.
I'm getting it because we got some Black Ops 6 deal. They already announced
doing
that they
it?
got the Black Ops. Yeah, baby. There's like, you can get a free battle pass from it, bro.
Whoa. Okay.
That is a game
okay.
changer.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, I got the Vault Edition, so it really doesn't matter, but
Little Caesars Battle Pass.
there's like 6 different rewards you can get.
Is it like random, or is it just, so it says,
I think it's like on the 3rd purchase you get the battle pass.
so it says,
I'm gonna be eating Little Caesars every day for a week.
wait, the following are all you can earn a Black Ops 6 digital game code and 30 minutes of double XP. What?
A what?
A digital game code?
The whole ass game?
you buy a pizza and you
Bro.
get Black Ops 6?
Little
What?
Caesars throwing in money down. God damn.
I don't think that's possible. The rewards,
I saw the battle pass.
it says all these rewards will be given randomly. So I see battle pass and 50 minutes double XP, 500 to 20.
Hell yeah, brother. I just got some crazy sauce and they gave me the battle.
500, anywhere between 500 and 21,000 COD points.
Oh, hell yeah, bro. I'm gonna be eating Little Caesars for a month.
Bro.
Bobby's gonna be like, I'm so tired of Little Caesars. Theo's gonna be like, I love Little
So
Caesars.
it says, to unlock all the Black Ops 6 Little Caesars rewards, take the following steps. First, you must make a purchase at Little Caesars over $3. Then go to their website, use the code, and then boom. So you're telling me I could get like 12 orders of crazy bread and like I get tons of entries, or what? Like, is that allowed? Is that allowed? Dude,
I
that's,
think they encourage it, bro.
yes, but
It might have like a minimum purchase amount, you know?
the minimum purchase is $3.
That's wild, man. You can go buy a freaking lunch combo.
Well, so
That's $6.
I'm wondering if it's like for every $3 you spend, you get a code. That would make sense, because otherwise you could game system just buy 12 orders of crazy bread.
No, I think they literally. It's like, I mean they'll probably say like, oh, like they can't just like come in and like they can't. What is gonna stop you from just putting in 12 mobile orders? Nothing, right?
No.
Like there's no way. I don't think they care. They're gonna get their money, man. I'm gonna buy the shit out of it. I hope Doritos does something too.
Doritos hasn't done anything in a while for Call of Duty, have
Well, hell, they did. They
Did
did. I think with Modern Warfare 2 was the last time they did like a really big thing, but they've done little things
I
here
thought
and there.
Modern Warfare 2 was when
Mountain Dew and Doritos usually does something.
it was Mountain Dew
But-
and Little Caesars that did Modern Warfare 2, I think.
I think you could just get double XP from Doritos. But I heard that they're finally stepping up their game, and you're not going to be allowed to steal the codes off of things because people have been doing that more and
Yeah.
more. So now it's like you have to literally like
It's like
upload your receipt,
Yeah. Random
which is the way it should be.
random thing. We're kind of getting the Black Ops 6 topic early. We'll just
Yeah,
skip that
I was
later.
gonna say we should just do Black Ops 6 now, and then we'll go back to the questions.
So, do you remember the old replacer ads from like Black Ops 2?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
he's
they're-
like an operator, and they did a commercial.
So he was an operator in Black Ops 4. He might be an operator in this game. I hope he is. But dude, the commercials they released this time were hilarious. Right?
Yeah, it was great.
Like Because there's one where he's like, okay, Mittens, get out of the tree, and he
Yeah.
just starts hitting it with the fire hose.
Yeah. Okay, so for people who don't know, the replacer, he's he's in like what the first is it? I don't remember which John Wick he's in. He's in one of the John Wicks, right? Am I tripping?
I think
Anyways,
you're right. Yeah.
the idea is that this guy he replaces you so that you can like play Call of Duty while he like takes care of it. And so it's like him like doing the dishes and like all this stuff, you know. And so the commercial's really funny. You should check it out. But the topic is Black Ops 6 comes out in like what, 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
And what is your hype level? Because it's just I just want the fucking game already,
I know.
man.
Let's see. The only problem is... What?
My thing is like I'm glad that it's not out yet because I gotta promote my film.
Oh.
You know, and I know that if this game comes out, like it's gonna be really hard for me to like not play it, and so I'm like, okay, I'm good with like it coming out when it does, but it's gonna be real hard for me when it first comes out to not like get sucked into it, man, because it's that beta was so good. Props to them, man. That beta was great.
Part of me wishes the beta came out later just so that I would...
I mean, they need time to use beta though.
My thing is now, because don't get me wrong, I'm still hyped, right? But I almost feel like my hype level's gone down because I've had to wait. And so
They've been revealing stuff though, so I'm like,
I know that
levels stayed constant on my
they
end.
said that the zombies HUD, like they're changing it so that it fits better with zombies. And then there was like a big complaint people had about one of the maps that it didn't feel like a zombies map, and they actually are going to fix that. Which I was like, wow, they're actually listening this time.
They confirmed that Infected and Nuketown are coming a week after release.
Oh, that reminds me. So there was a map called Warhead. People were like, oh, it's a destroyed version of Nuketown. It's not. It's a city, or it's like a fake town outside of Nuketown that got nuked.
Yeah, but I've been seeing people discuss that. So it was called Sandhouse before, and I think they should have kept it that name. I think Warhead is like, they were like, oh, it's because people were like, oh, it's like a destroyed Nuketown, and like, oh, well, no, it's like it's basically like the same Nuketown city, but it's been hit by a warhead, and like, well, that is like a destroyed Nuketown, like literally, you're just like skirting around it.
It's just not actually Nuketown. Although the layout's very similar. Don't get me wrong.
From what I saw, people were saying it's basically the same.
Yeah, because there's
Just
two
covered in sand,
houses,
but
there's a
it's
little
changed.
center area.
Either way, I'm excited to try it. It looks dope.
I do think it's cool that we're gonna get essentially two Nuketowns, like pretty much from the get go.
But they're designed to play way different, so I'm excited.
Yeah, dude, that Omni movement, like I wish it was in every game now, because
It
like
feels great.
dude, being able to sprint backwards, I didn't realize how big of a deal that was, but it's like, duh, you can do that in real life. Why can't you do that in a video game? Like, why?
It feels like when I get when all of a sudden, because it's always been a frustrating thing in Call of Duty where it's like, okay, because of the way the game's designed, one-on-one gunfights, it's an equal fight. But as soon as another person shows up, most of the time, unless you're like insanely good or you get lucky, you're probably gonna die from being outnumbered, right?
Yeah.
And now with this new movement, it feels like I actually have a chance to get away if I get into a shitty situation.
Yeah.
And I have a better chance at saving my kill streak or whatever. Also, did you see the nuke animation? It's insane. I heard it was similar in Cold War, but this one is nuts, man. Like you literally like stand there and get cooked.
Yeah,
For like a few seconds.
yeah. So, man,
And but what I was gonna say is that the nuke is 30 kills now, not 25. You see that?
oh, they upped it from the beta or what?
I think it was 30 in the beta.
Okay.
I don't even know if it was a thing in the beta. Was it?
It was. People were or at least no. Either they were getting in the beta, or there was people who were playtesting the game when it was being shown off, and that's when they were getting nukes.
Have you ever gotten a nuke?
No, of course not, dude. I suck at that game.
I think my highest kill streak was like 21.
I think I almost got a nuke in like Black Ops, or not. I don't know if it was called. I think we wouldn't get a nuke. It was just called like it was a medal called nuclear or something like that. I almost got one in Black Ops 3, but that was when I no-lifed that game so hard, man. It was like all I played.
Yeah, I'm not good enough or have the time to get good enough to get a nuke like that. Like it would have to be like I would my teammates would have to protect me in order to get one.
There is one thing I want to say that no one seems to be talking about with zombies. Okay, it's a good thing, but no one talks about it. Dude, if you throw a grenade at a horde of zombies, they ragdoll big time. Like the force of their bodies being thrown off the ground, it's like cartoonish, and it reminds me of like the old World at War days where like the gore was like ridiculous, like you could shoot a zombie's arm off and stuff, right? It reminds me of that where it's just like they're making it goofy, but not in like a dumb way where it's like, oh, I swallowed a gumball and now every zombie throws up whenever I kill it. Like it's like just these little details like that. I'm like they actually like put their heart and soul into this game. Like they are actually trying, and it makes me really happy to see that. So
Yeah, I'm hyped. Like I said, I'm glad that it's coming out when it is because I would definitely have I think I do have an addictive personality to an extent. Like if I get really excited about something, I can hyper focus on it. And so I saw when the beta was happening, I was just like, I'm gonna get to that max level. You know, like let's do it.
dude,
And
even
so,
after I
like,
got to max level, I was still playing it. I had a
see,
hard time.
I can't. I have to have a goal.
Yeah, well,
And there was no goal for me
so
anymore.
there was still a goal for me, and that was to get XP towards the battle pass, so I could get extra COD points. But like there's times where I would sit down and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play Fallout 4, and I'm like, I can play Black Ops 6 though. Like
So you didn't get Vault Edition?
No, I'm not spending that much money on a video game. I made that mistake with Starfield. I'm not doing that again.
I mean, you play zombies a lot. I'm surprised you don't want the gobblegums and ammos and
I
stuff.
can get I think the gobblegums I can just get for free from playing the game. And they haven't even said what gobblegums you get. That's the other thing. And
They're all shitty.
I'm sure it's like, oh, here's 3 perkaholics, and it's like, all right, cool. I don't really want to make the
Actually,
game.
no. I think maybe what it is like it gives you like the stuff so you can craft gobblegum, right? So it'd be completely random.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's even to me. It's even worse. I personally don't like spending money on that kind of stuff because
Hey, bro, you're gonna be like, oh, I gotta get some gobblegum. I'm like, "Ugh." Like,
well,
already?
so I made the mistake of back when, and I still hate Treyarch for doing this, and it's not probably not even Treyarch's fault. It's probably Activision's fault. Black Ops 3 had this camo where it was for like summer. It was like some like cherry soda camo or something like that. It was the coolest camo I had seen in the game, and it was locked behind supply drops, and it was a limited time thing. I spent probably $40 on supply drops, did not get the camo, and then it was gone forever.
God, I hate supply drops.
Ever since then, I've been like, I don't want to spend money on freaking loot boxes. It's just not
Yeah,
happening.
I'm glad that trend went away, man.
Well, it would have been fine had that not been a limited time thing. I would have been okay with it.
I mean,
because
that's literally what killed Battlefront. Remember? Battlefront 2? Like the first Battlefront, the one that EA did,
Yeah.
was a huge hit. And then the second one came out and people found out right away that like in order to like get Darth Vader or whatever, like you either had to play like an insane amount of hours, like they said like 10,000 hours or some crazy shit, or you had to pay like, $600 to get it or something.
Yeah.
And that like I'm glad like that was what something. I mean, it sucks because Battlefront 2 was dope. I actually liked that game, but the community turned on it, and that's when people put their foot down on the loot boxes. I think the only game that really does loot boxes anymore that people play is Apex.
Oh yeah, Apex does do loot boxes, huh? Overwatch stopped doing that
But
a while
it's a free
back.
game, so it's like
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me as much
well,
if the game's free to play to begin with.
It don't to me the one that's egregious with like microtransactions is not even Call of Duty. 'Cause Call of Duty is a little ridiculous, but I understand the game's huge. They're like
It's the
basically
skins for me. They've
their-
gotten out of hand.
Their biggest competitor is Fortnite, in my opinion. Like that's really what it is. Valorant though, I'm like, Jesus Christ! It's first off, it's made by people who made League, and I already hate League. But Valorant, you buy a gun skin that is $20.
One of my biggest gaming regrets is buying skins in Valorant.
I am so
I
lucky.
easily spent like $500.
I You spent $500 on skins in Valorant.
I mean, to be fair, like I was streaming and like people would donate and be like, get that skin because I was eyeballing it, you know? And it's
Oh.
like, but still, I mean, it's like, I mean, honestly, probably more than $500.
Jesus, man.
I mean, we're talking about when I was streaming to like 300 plus viewers. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was a different time. And I mean, I've definitely become a lot more financially responsible now that, you know, I have 2 kids, which is a perfect segue into going back to the questions. Nikki asks, how has it been like being a father of 2 children? Has it been stressful? It's been stressful just because it's like, I mean, it's one of those things where it's more of a psychological stress because I am very passionate about filmmaking and I also put out a lot of short form content, and so I'm pretty much always working, and so this past 6 months has flown by, and I mean Casey's already 6 months old, man. And like it's just crazy seeing how fast she's growing. And it's, I mean, it's on it, before you know it, she's going to be at that age when like Theo came into my life, and it's like, okay, like we're no longer in uncharted territory. And so like I really like try to stop and spend moments with her when I can, you know. um but I mean, dude, it would be way more stressful if Bobby wasn't such a good like mom. You know what I mean? She's always on top of it. She takes such good care of the kids, man. Like I picked such a good life partner, man. And so that really has kept it from being super stressful. The only time it's really stressful is when like Bobby had a dentist appointment and like she had like a couple of cavities they needed to work on. So she's like, can you watch it for a couple hours? And like, you got to understand when like, because she's a stay-at-home mom and she's always there, it's stressful for the baby when all of a sudden she's gone for 3 hours, you know? And so that's stressful because I literally like can't really get anything done. I have to give her my full attention basically, you know, in order for her to like be happy. Like it's funny though because like she tries to grab everything. She tries to take my watch off. She tries to grab my phone. She's crawling now. So like she'll crawl to like the remote and try to take the remote, stuff like that. Yeah, it's great, man. I love being a dad. Love being a girl dad. She's all smiles. She's literally a mini version of Bobby. It's I can't wait till you get to meet her, Chris. But on to the next question. George Halafer, our new patron, says G Fuel top flavors bracket. So I put questions or topics, and this specific topic I don't think is like a great topic for the podcast because like it requires like a thing on screen to do like a tier list. And I've done some tier list stuff in the past, but I'll just give you some of my favorite flavors off the top of my head, and I hope that's enough for you. But S tier flavors, I would say like Blue Bomber Slushy, Hype Sauce, Shiny Splash.
Nemesis
What else?
T.
I mean, I would give Nemesis T an A.
Oh,
And I think it's an S tier can, but it's an A tier powder. I guess I'm specifically talking about powders. But yeah, I love all the lemonade flavors. The Atari 2600 Plus flavor, Chris, like so good. So is the Nuclear Sunset one, the Duke Nukem one. That one's like a cherry pomegranate, or no, orange pomegranate or something like that. So there's a lot of good flavors, man. Like if anybody ever, if you're not sure what flavor to buy because there's so many flavors, pop into one of my TikTok lives and be like, hey, I've been thinking about these 3 and I can help you narrow it down or something, you know, because I know it's daunting. Like, I mean, you're gonna buy a tub and spend $36 on it and have 40 servings. I've bought a protein powder before where I have to fight to finish it because it sucks, you know. So like I feel you. Like you don't want to get something that you're not gonna like, And so it's a big decision. So if you're ever unsure, just hop into my TikTok live because I've been going live every day to promote Pollo Loco. So, Gabe Dudas says, "What's your favorite film of 2022?" And then he said, "Not on YouTube until 2023." I don't know what he means by that. I have no idea what you mean by that. The not on YouTube until 2023 thing. I tried to figure out what you're trying to say. And
maybe he meant 2024.
I don't know.
And maybe he's talking about Pollo Loco.
I don't think he is. That'd be a weird thing, but I'm gonna just look up best movies of 2022 and pick one. The first one that I noticed. And I'll list some off, Chris, so you can pick one if.
No,
if
I'm looking as well, so you're good. Just whichever one that you like. I'm looking through.
Terrifier 2 came out.
Bullet Train. Ooh.
Oh, Top Gun Maverick. It's got to be Top Gun Maverick.
For me, it's Bullet Train. I freaking love Bullet Train.
Oh, the Batman too, man. Fuck. I don't know, man. I'm torn. I think I have to go to Batman, but Top Gun Maverick is a damn near perfect film, man.
I feel more compelled to rewatch
Batman.
Bullet Train than I am to watch Batman.
I'm the other way, but Bullet Train is very good. Oh, Chris, you would like I think you would like Wolves.
Wolves.
Brad Pitt and George Clooney.
I don't like the name for it though. It really bugs me that it's Wolves and not Wolves.
If you watch the movie, you'll see why it's called that.
Yeah.
It's like a language thing, but
next question.
Yeah. Next question. What is your favorite horror movie franchise? Chris doesn't watch a lot of horror.
That's correct.
So I will say recently, and this still okay, I'll say this. I really like the Scream franchise. I think that is infused with so much like movie pop culture that I just like it because it's got so many like nerdy movie stuff in it. Like the conversations the characters have will be like, oh, like if it's following the plot of like the typical slasher, it's probably this person. You know, like they're trying to narrow down who the killer is using like movie stuff. So I really like that about that. But recently, and this is a perfect segue into one of our topics, the Terrifier movies, specifically 2 and 3, are such unique film experiences that I know are not for everybody, and I'll get into why they're not for everybody. But recently, I think those are like some of my favorite horror movies. Definitely my favorite slashers. So, Chris, I finally cracked, and I watched the Terrifier movies, and there's a lot of reasons to like them and not like them. The reason to not like them is that they are the goriest slasher movies I've ever seen.
In like a bad way or in a good way?
I mean, the practical effects are amazing. We're talking like John Carpenter's The Thing level craftsmanship, but it very much like glorifies the violence.
Okay.
You know? So like, it's like, I mean, we're spending a whole sequence where he's just like chopping somebody up and like the person's still alive. So they're like screaming the whole time. But Art the Clown is definitely like the next Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers, blah, blah, blah. Like easily, like he's the next big horror icon, which is really cool to see in our in our generation, because it feels like there really hasn't been anything like that since like, you know, the 80s. So it's really cool to see that.
When
and like
was Chucky?
I saw an interview. I think late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
So, but anyways, he's a clown, but he doesn't talk, so he like mimes the whole time.
Yeah,
so,
I've
like,
seen clips. Yeah.
He'll like hit somebody with like an axe, and then be like, you know, like it's funny at the same time, but I don't know if you would be able to handle it, Chris. It's very nasty.
I probably could. I just don't like. So here's the thing.
You'll appreciate the practical effects.
Slashers are different from horror movies.
I would say skip the first one. You won't like the first one. It's very like gritty, dirty, low budget. They made it for like $35,000.
Ooh.
And there's no story, no characters, but the practical effects are fantastic. The one thing I will say about the second and the third one that really changed my perspective on them is they have heart, Chris. They're like, the best way I could describe them is like, it's like Stranger Things from hell. Like they have like this 80s synth vibe to them. And they have these moments where like they legitimately make you care about the characters. And I, unlike any slasher movies I've ever seen, like I legitimately care about these characters. And when characters die, I'm like, damn, man, what a shitty way to go. You know, like that's oh man, specifically the third one, it had some moments where I was like, oh man, like no, you know, like fuck, like it hit my, like it, dude, like they seriously, they have probably the best scream queen I've ever seen.
Scream
like you
queen?
So it's like the final girl, right?
Okay.
She's a badass, but you care about her. And like the third, so the second one, they're both on Amazon, by the way, 2 and 3. I would just watch a YouTube video about the first one if you want to know like what's going on.
3 is on Amazon?
Or sorry, 1 and 2 are on Amazon, but
Okay.
I would honestly say you're not gonna like the first one because there's no story. But the second one, Chris, is like so badass, but like gross and like crazy at the same time. But like Art the Clown is legitimately hilarious. Like he adds a humor to it. There's so many sequences in it where I'm like, this feels cinematic and like well thought out, and it has like a heart to it somehow. And like I love the score. It's like a mix of like synthwave and like John Carpenter's The Thing kind of ambiance, Chris.
Well, because I've seen like clips where it's like a meme, and his name's Art the Clown, you said?
Mm-hmm.
So he does like a smile sometimes, and like
Yeah.
like it's always using like a like when it's like a malicious compliance type of
Yeah,
thing
he'll be
that
like,
they usually use it for. Yeah.
Yeah,
And like
it's
I always
like-
I always thought that was funny. So I didn't realize that's
That
what it was
actor's
from until
incredible.
recently. So I am
actor's
interested in
incredible.
actually watching those. So I'll check it out.
Yeah, I have a clip that I can show you from the second one that I think will definitely like, you'll know whether you want to watch them or not.
I don't want
Perfectly
spoilers.
sums up the vibe.
I'll just watch it this weekend. I got plenty of time this weekend anyways.
Okay, yeah. So I would just watch a YouTube video, if for to anybody who's interested out there. Like, the first one, unless you're like a diehard slasher, like if you like the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre, then you might like the first Terrifier. But I personally didn't like it. I respect it, especially for how low budget it was. And I saw an interview last night where he talked about basically how like 20 years ago he started this thing and now it's gotten to what it is, which is really inspiring. And so like to see that like he made a short film for like $5,000 that was 20 minutes long and it got all this attention and people were like, yo, you should like make more about this character. And then, you know, the first Terrifier is like, it's basically like a prototype, Chris. It shows what he could do, but it just doesn't have the money to have a story or really flesh out the characters. But you got to watch a YouTube video that sums up everything you need to know, because there's one character that's in like all 3 that's important. But at the same time, it's like, it's not like, oh, you need the backstory. You just need to know who the hell they are and like why they're in it.
Right.
But I will say, dude, like the second and the third one, it's so entertaining, man. Like every time Art the Clown's on screen, you're just like, what the fuck is this guy gonna do next? Seriously, man. Like I said, it was one of those things that I put off because I was like, I don't like movies that glorify violence for the sake of violence, but it is justified to an extent. Like he definitely like gives reason for it. It's literally just like, I mean, okay, so the basic thing is like, he started out as just a serial killer, right? But then like it goes like, you know, typical. I wouldn't say typical because it goes about it in an interesting, unique way. But it's like, okay, he's resurrected, and it's like a demon, and so now it's just like he's got these almost like supernatural powers at the same time. But it doesn't. It's really interesting how it like does its own kind of thing and like the lore and stuff. I like it. I think people who just like gritty slashers are like on the fence about the lore, but I love it. I think I think it really caught me by surprise. I talked so much shit about those movies. Like to be totally honest, I was like, man, if people like that stuff, there's something wrong with you. But there's something to it. There's something in the recipe that just, I get it. I understand the fan base now. They're not stupid movies. They're just not for everyone because it is very gory and it's focused on it. And like it relishes in it. But it's like, but it is like a demon who's doing this stuff. So it's like, you get why it reminds me of Jeepers Creepers at times, because Jeepers Creepers, the whole thing is like, he feeds off the fear. So his whole thing is he wants to scare you and like really relish in the fact that you're scared. And in this, it's like it's almost like inflicting the pain and all that stuff is like, that's what's fun to him. And so it's just like he makes a game out of it. And so it's almost like it's like Freddy Krueger mixed with Saw.
And I hate Saw though. I hate Saw.
Well, I Saw from a practical effect standpoint. So like I mean, they're the goriest movies I've ever seen, hands down. But there's it's got this 80s vibe to it that's just very fun at the same time. But like, I mean, I was like on the fence last night. I was like, do I get popcorn? Because I'm hungry, but I don't want to like be eating popcorn while this nasty shit's happening. So I was like, all right, I'll get some chicken tenders and scarf them down during the trailers, and that's what I did.
Oh, I thought you were saying you're eating chicken tenders during the. I was like, bro, it's even worse.
Dude, I saw they have chicken wings at Cinemark now, and I was like, ooh, that's keto. But nah, do I really want to be eating something with like bones and shit? What? Not
chicken wings are keto.
Yeah, they're just fat and protein.
What about the breading?
So regular chicken wings, it's just fat. It's not breading, it's skin.
Oh, you mean okay.
Yeah. Okay. Not boneless wings. That's just like chicken tenders.
Okay. But, that makes more sense.
But anyways, yeah, I'm really impressed by the Terrifier movies. I saw Terrifier 3 last night. I thought it lived up to the hype and topped the second one in pretty much every way, except there is a character who I'm not gonna name that's killed off screen, and I was kind of sad that happened because they're important. Some people think maybe it's like on purpose, and stuff like that. I think it's just time's sake. Because the second one, the biggest complaint people had was it was a little too long, and so this one feels like more tightly edited, and I think they did that for runtime's sake. But I will say the crazy thing is that the character I'm talking about, I'm going to be offering a lead role in my film, so I don't know. It's such a weird experience for me at the same time because I'm like looking at everything from a filmmaking standpoint, and like I'm about to make my own first feature, and like I don't know. Watching that, I specifically was like, I need to watch these movies because I see this character and he's a TikToker and a musician, and he'd be perfect for this part. And I'm like, well, I need to see him act though. Like, is he right for it? And he definitely is. So hopefully that works out. I mean, he's a minor character. I would say he's like in the second one, he's a strong supporting. In the third one, he's like a minor supporting. But yeah, I'm excited to like reach out, whether it's through a producer or through my manager or whatever, to like offer this role, and hopefully because it's like an actual lead, they'll want to do it. And also it's not like Terrifier. It's like a serious, like dramatic film with like a message. So
yeah,
we'll see. I hope it works out because I think it would be great. But anyways, last thing we're gonna talk about, which I really didn't like look into it too much, but Hurricane Milton hit Florida, and I mean, it was, social media treated it like a spectacle, which was kind of messed up to see because I feel like we haven't really seen a hurricane, I guess, turn into a spectacle like that before on that level. Like, I mean, there was the Lieutenant Dan guy. I don't know if you saw that. It's
I
like
did
literally
see
a guy
that.
on a boat with like a missing leg.
And then he started saying the N-word on Kick.
Yeah, immediately got canceled.
Yeah.
Which I was just like, this guy's a bum on a boat. Like, who cares, man?
Lieutenant
But
Dan.
I saw, and I think Tifu's house got destroyed. This really sad thing was like, before the hurricane hit, tornadoes came through and like ruined a bunch of areas. And so people just were like screwed from the get-go.
I just don't like that people are turning it into a political thing somehow.
Yeah, of course they are with the election like a month away,
Yeah,
which is
which
crazy.
yeah, I'm
Already
gonna say
voting.
we're
I was
almost
starting to vote
there.
already. You can vote. Or you can do your early ballot stuff. So, but I've got friends, like really close friends, from the Coast Guard in Florida, and so I reached out to them. And was like, "Hey, I hope you're fine." And they were like, "Yeah, no, we were good. It didn't hit us that hard, like luckily." But I mean, there's parts of Florida that just got
I saw
decimated,
there
man.
was like literally like a
Is there
it
a
was
death toll?
I don't know, but there was like I saw a clip where it was like security camera footage where the water got up to 15 feet high. Like that's how bad the flooding was.
Um, it says there's still more than 1 million people in Florida without power. Um,
Jesus.
17 dead as of now.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So it definitely could have been a lot worse, but it's like they were really worried it was gonna do the same thing that one that hit Texas while I was there. Like I don't even remember what it was called, but it just like stopped over Texas and dumped water for like 5 days. Remember that?
I don't.
They were worried that might happen with this one, but luckily it didn't. It like immediately just like went to the ocean and like it passed over Florida. Like it was a hurricane the whole time, the whole way through. They thought it was gonna go straight into a tropical storm like that one. And I think it was like Hurricane Harvey or something. I don't remember what it was called. But yeah, that hurricanes are awful, and it feels like they just keep getting worse every year, man.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
the
and
tornado thing is even scarier, man. Like adding that to
I
it.
just don't. I don't
It
love.
was like the appetizer. It was so fucked.
People are like, "Oh man, like this overhead image of the hurricane looks like a face." And so now people are
Yeah,
making
bro.
art of
Oh,
it, and I'm like,
yeah.
bro, like people are getting hurt and
I did see a lot of theories that it was like
hard for
chemically
some.
engineered
Yeah,
weather. Yeah.
yeah,
Which I mean there is some truth to the idea that like they can seed clouds and stuff like that.
yeah.
But the idea that they could like weaponize it, like I'm sure there's a way to do it, but like the idea that they would do that just to do it is it doesn't make any sense.
And also, are they? Is it more of like a, oh, China's doing it to the U.S. or is it, we're doing it to ourselves? I also hate
Yeah,
that
I don't
whole
know.
thing, but I don't
I mean,
know.
the whole like lab stuff with like C19 is that's a dark rabbit hole to go down. So like I can see why people are like, oh, like, if they have it out for the world or whatever, they could do that. But it's like it's just I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense.
To this
That
day,
falls apart really quickly, man.
the thing that was so interesting to me in regards to the Rona stuff, with it being made in the lab, um, it was found in Wuhan, right? That there's a university in Wuhan that figured out how to make electric jet engines. And I was like, "What's going on over there, man? They're making viruses
I mean,
and
dude,
electric jets."
Yeah, I mean, we don't have time to get into it, but yeah, there's some really weird stuff about that whole thing, and it's, I mean, it definitely. I think the biggest takeaway from it all is just like they need to regulate stuff better and like have better safety measures and stuff. Um, but anyways, those are like our, excuse me, those are our main topics this week. I'm sure Chris and I arguing is gonna turn into a clip or something.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Screw you,
but,
man.
you piece of shit. Making fun of my Mustang.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about taillights for the next 15 minutes. Shut up, man.
I wasn't even gonna be that, man. So I was just like, oh, like
They
think
can't
I
even
like my
see
car.
it. Nobody
I like
can
my
see
car.
it. Yeah, but nobody can see what we're talking about. They got to go in and get out of the podcast, go look it up.
can't
They go,
see
oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Have you not used a phone in 2024? You can literally watch a podcast while you're doing stuff on your phone, you dumbass.
Yeah, do you think they want to do that while they're driving?
Okay, it's a video podcast. Honestly, most people are watching it and not listening to it because we don't have it on Spotify and Apple.
Yeah, people can still just listen to the audio. I do that. I fall asleep. I have the video playing on my computer, and then I listen
Sure.
to the audio. Yeah, people do that.
Yes, but some people can look it up while we're talking.
and
Or they've
a lot
seen it
won't. Oh yeah, or they've seen it already. That's fair. I will give you
You can
that.
say the same thing about the Tesla shit. That people aren't looking that up while we're talking about it.
The difference is it was in the news. People have seen it in the news. They don't. When's the last time Mustang taillights were in the news, bro? Like, what do you? I'm just saying.
We're talking about cars.
Whatever, man.
It's the same topic.
Anyways, let's do our recommendations, okay? Jesus Christ.
I don't think the logic there, man.
Half this episode has been about taillights, bro. Like,
No, it's not been about taillights. It's been about you being like rude about it and just dismiss like nobody cares about that.
okay,
Say the same thing about laser guns and
comment down below if you care about taillights.
No, comment down below whether Chris was rude about it.
No.
Yeah.
No. I said.
My thing was not the fact that it was taillights. It was the way you talked to me about it.
Yes, but I'm saying nobody cares about taillights, bro. I didn't even say it that way. I said people probably don't care about taillights.
It's not just taillights. It's the car's design. We're talking about the design of the Tesla cars and how they look and how cars are looking more futuristic.
Dude, you literally,
so I brought up the design of my car.
You literally had me look up.
It like I had nothing to do with it.
You had me look up 2024 Mustang taillights. Okay, like it got that deep about taillights. Nobody cares about taillights, bro.
We were talking about the Tesla taillights. How are you not seeing the correlation here? That's like somebody going, "Hey, you like to use oh, sorry, my timer's going off." That's like being in the bathroom, being at the urinal, and somebody goes, "Hey, do you use wipes when you go poop?" And you're like, "Bro, why are we talking? What does that have to do with anything right now? We're in a bathroom."
First off, who's gonna stand next to you in the urinal and be, "Hey, do you wipe? Do you wipe? Do you use wet wipes? What kind of wipes do you use?" Like,
okay, I forgot. You're a hermit that doesn't interact with the people in public.
Who goes and talks to a random stranger about wiping their butt cheeks? I mean public?
Friends or whatever, man. It could be anybody.
Dude, okay, granted, I have some friends at work who will go into the bathroom and purposely make weird noises just so that people walking by will hear that. But it's because they're just like that. I don't know if anybody who goes in the bathroom is like, "What kind of wipes do you use, man?" That's weird.
It was just an example.
It's an awful example, bro.
Okay, fine. That would be like if you're at the store and you're with your friend and you pick up Doritos and then you go, and then they go, "Hey, what do you think about like the new look of the Cheeto bag?" And you're like, "Bro, I've got Doritos in my hand. What are you talking about Cheetos for?" There's a correlation. It's the same topic and realm.
I get that. But do you want to spend?
It doesn't seem like you do. And you act like I was going to spend 15 minutes talking about it. I mentioned it, and in the first 30 seconds, you said nobody cares. So next time I bring up your
comment down below if you care about taillights.
I'm gonna tell you nobody cares about.
Bro, I haven't talked about any of that stuff in like months.
Oh, bullshit.
Okay, give me an example.
There was a Patreon question like 2 episodes ago where somebody asked about something you're proud of, and you talked about your laser gun for 5 minutes.
5 minutes? 5 minutes? Probably more like 30 seconds max, bro.
It probably feels like 30 seconds when you're nerding out, but it was about 5 minutes.
Tell me down below if you care about taillights.
No, comment down below whether Chris is disrespectful. I'm telling you, if I was having a conversation with somebody in public and I brought something up and they go, "Bro, why are you talking about? Nobody cares about that." I would be like,
yes, but the difference is other people are listening to the conversation. Tell me if you think people care about taillights right now.
Sure. What do you think anybody cares about the design of taillights on a car? Because I guarantee you somebody does.
Somebody.
Okay. Do you think anybody cares about a laser gun? Somebody does.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Yeah.
You can say the same thing.
Yeah.
How is it any different, man?
I don't know, man. You can do a lot more with a laser gun than freaking taillights.
Yeah, you can shock yourself like a dumbass.
Are you what? You're gonna shock?
I'm talking about your glove. You talked about that too. You can hurt yourself.
Yeah. Can you do that with taillights?
I mean, you can hit somebody with your car back.
car. That's the whole car, though. That's different. You can do a lot more with a car. What?
I don't know, man. The taillights hit them, like specifically contact with the taillight.
That's it. We can talk about, I will say one thing cool about taillights. Okay, I'll give you this. I think it's cool when the taillights have animations.
Okay, cool. You're proving my point. Somebody cares.
Yeah, somebody cares about that part, but they don't go, oh, yeah, man, I like how they have the dent. They have the dent in the taillight.
We are talking about how cars are looking more and more futuristic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mentioned how the new design of the Mustang has a retro futuristic design. I pointed out the taillights because we talked about how the taillights look on the back of the Cybertruck and the freaking Robotaxi or whatever the fuck it's called.
You know what kind of vibes I'm getting right now when we were arguing about whether you could power an electric car with solar panels. That's the same exact vibe. We're just going in circles. Anyways, now we spent 15 minutes talking about taillights. I hope you're happy. Let's do our recommendations.
No. We talked about how you're a disrespectful piece of shit.
Shut up! Be quiet.
All right, give us your recommendation. I'm sure it's stimulating.
So it's this channel called Knowledge Husk, and it's pretty much just it's
nobody cares.
Yeah, so it's a channel where he kind of talks about like either recent news stories and gives his take on it. It's like a commentary channel basically. But I believe the guy who runs it is like the brother of the guy who made like Alternate History Hub. So if you're a fan of that guy's channel, this is another channel you'd be interested in. But that's my recommendation.
So I watched Snack Shack on Amazon Prime, and I definitely recommend it to you, Chris. I know you've got so many movies to watch, but this one is on Amazon Prime. I would recommend watching it before Terrifier. I'll say that. I think it's my favorite movie of the year, which is saying a lot. It's got the kid from The Fabelmans in it, the one who played like who Steven Spielberg's supposed to be, because it's like an autobiographical film. Semi, I guess. But anyways, Snack Shack, coming of age, 90s, summer vibes. Really funny because it's an R-rated comedy. But basic premise is these two like childhood friends. They're trying to come up with a money scheme, and like one of the things they've been doing is brewing their own beer, but because they're like in high school, obviously they get in trouble for that right away. And so like, what can we do then? We got to come up with something else. And so they decide like, hey, we can make a bid at like the next town hall meeting, or city hall meeting, to like rent the Snack Shack for the summer and like make a bunch of money selling concessions and stuff. And so they do that, and the movie is them and like spending the summer running this Snack Shack, but then also like there's like the hot lifeguard chick and all this stuff, and just it is one of the most fun, heartwarming, funny films I've seen in a long time. But most importantly, I think out of all the movies I've watched this year, it made me feel more than any other film. Like, it's just so many like good vibes. It's got a hangout vibe to it, but it's also hilarious. And just like, I will say the first act, it's introducing the characters and it feels very fast and rushed. Like, hey, let's get to the good part. But once we got to like, they got the Snack Shack, it's like 2 hours long, I think. I'm going to watch it with mom and dad when they come to visit next week. I told them not to watch it yet.
Next week, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to watching it again with them. But once it got to the Snack Shack part, I was like, I don't want this movie to end. And I can't remember the last time. I think the last time I felt that way was like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Just didn't want it to end. So definitely recommend that to everybody. Free to watch on Amazon Prime. I think they spent like $4.5 million on it, and like just nobody talked about it. It bombed. Did not deserve to like be treated that way, because I seriously think it's my favorite film of the year right now. So check out Snack Shack, and go watch Pollo Loco. And if you've already seen it, go watch it again. Again, the better that short film does on YouTube, the better it's gonna be and smoother it's gonna be when we go start asking for budget for this first feature. So I would really appreciate it, guys. Some people have been, Chris, it's crazy. Some people are like, I put it on my TV and just loop it and leave it on while I'm asleep to help you out. I'm like, dude,
It's
I
at
appreciate
it's almost at 24,000 right now. So I think probably by the end of the night, 25.
Yeah, by the time this podcast is out on YouTube, it'll be past 25, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we're getting crumble cookies at 25, so definitely gonna be getting crumble cookies on Monday, I think. Hopefully the menu's better than it was this week. It was ass this week, man. Anyways, go check out Pollo Loco, Snack Shack, and join the Patreon. Get some G Fuel with code DannyD. Get some Fit Butters, and we'll see you next week.
Yep.
You disrespectful piece of shit.
Comment down below if you care about taillights.